All right, so we're looking at this setup here. We had this breakout, right? We had a breakout of this downward trend, double bottom to the downside. Right now, we're looking at the 1 minute chart. And if I pull up the bigger picture chart as well, and look at the NASDAQ here on the 2 minute chart. So we're pulling back here into this 500 level. So now what we want to do is basically draw our little flag, right? Draw our little flag. We know there's some support right here. So we want to be watching these candles. I'm going to go to the 1 minute chart because I want to see basically the first candle to make a new high would be perfect because it would get us above that 25 level, which was that resistance there earlier as well. So we now can just sit back and wait. The best part about trading, right? The best part about trading momentum here is that the fact that all I have to do is just be patient. I don't need to do anything because I don't need to guess what's going to happen next. I just need to wait for the candlesticks to give me a setup here, an opportunity. So we are basically just waiting for this to play out. We pushed back above this key area, that 18,500s, and we've got the VWAP up there at the 623s and the 15-minute range right there, 544s. So just sitting back, waiting and watching to see kind of how this plays out. I don't need to buy the dip. I don't need to try to force anything. I don't need to try to really do anything other than just be patient. You know, like literally just being patient right here is what's going to be part of the trade. That's part of the process. Waiting for this flag to play out. We want to see this flag play out. So just doing that. And so pretty big pullback right there. Not looking very bullish now on this pullback. So let's go to the bigger time frames. Now we're going to kind of see how we change this up. Let's see if the momentum will start to come back in and we sell down here. So now I want to see this bear, like obviously we're kind of in that bear flag there on the 5 minute chart, right? So that's very bearish looking setup there. They're selling it right back down. So at this point, now I'm waiting to see, basically if we get below that 440 level, we can kind of play it like this. Let's play it like kind of like this, right? So we're looking at it. We're in this bear flag. We got the VWAP there. We held the lows, double bottom there. So now we're just waiting to see kind of how this plays out. Again, guys, we're trading momentum. We're not trying to predict what's going to happen next. We're just trading the momentum. So I'm keeping my emotion out of it. I'm keeping the FOMO out of it because I know that if we do something, if we break out of this downward, this trend line of the low here, well, then it's pretty bad and we're going to start selling down. So let's watch and see what happens here with 440s now. Really coming back into that 440 level now. I want to see how that's going to react right here now. Kind of holding there for now. The bottom of that flag. We had our 15-minute range break to the downside, so we're below the 15-minute range. Market's very bearish right here. Looks like we're going to close outside of the bull flag now. I'm going to take a short right here. And I'm going to have my stop basically at the high of this candle, this 65 level. And we'll try to keep this momentum going to the downside. I was a little early there. It happens. Sometimes you get in early. It's all good. But we look for this little flag. I want to see one more little break through that 440 level and we should be good to go. A little bit of a pushback up here. Giving a little bit of room. That 470 area being my final stop here. I'm not fully sized in here either yet. So if we stay below 470s, I'll look to add. I'm going to add right there. momentum is continuing lower. Remember, we're staying below this level right here, this previous wick of that candle, 64s. So as long as we stay below that, momentum is pointing down, and we break through these lows here. I'm just a little early. We could have been a little bit more patient and waited for that 40 break all the way, but I like it like that sometimes, just getting a little early. And then my first target's going to be right at the high of this little candle right there. So that's going to put us at 28s for our first target to take profit here. Just basically looking to the left here, seeing that little wick on the top of that candle right there. We need to just break through. There we go. Getting the breakthrough. We can get a little bit more out of it. I'm going to maybe take off another 3 in this level. Put another target down here, kind of into the body of this candle. The low, right before the low of that candle being 13 there. And now I'm actually going to put my stop on this trade as well to follow it down. So we either get stopped out, a couple runners right there, but we still got some left. Just want to make sure I'm locking in profit, right? And then now I definitely don't want this to come back up and take me out for a loss, right? I definitely don't want that. So just putting my stop like right below break even now. We're managing the trade. We still have our target down to the low of this candle. And then after that, we'd have one down here to the even lower on that setup there. So you can see how this 440 area right now is like still kind of holding up there. You could have been shorting into that 440 level instead of taking the short early. But I think the 440 area was primed and ready. There we go. Through the 20s now. I'm moving this stop to 440. My cover there should get filled here at the 16s. Oh, very close. Very close. You got to be patient. You got to be patient, my friends. Sometimes you get these little like fake outs and then the market actually makes the move here. So looking really good. We've got basically one contract left in one account, and then we're looking to take out the low here. He kind of looks funny, kind of added into this. Like I said, staying below that 70 level was key. Below 470 right there. 466 is the high. Wick. We had another wick right here. So we know there's selling pressure. We know the sellers are keeping it down, so we can look for the low. This break now, look at this, playing out beautifully. Give me that break all the way down. Don't you push back up. We're in this range right now too. I should probably be taking profit, but for the purpose of this video, I wanted to see if we could get that break to the low. Ended up getting out right there. So you can see the setup. Breaking to the downside there from the 40s down there to the 407s. We had some support there holding that 400 level. So there's that pop back up. That's why we're not being greedy. Like, look at this little pop back up. They're holding that low for now. We knew that was a double bottom down there. It was either going to just wash right through or take us out there. Ended up covering too much, but we saw the bear flag, the setup. We talked about kind of a possible bull flag for a second, right? We talked about kind of switching it up. We pushed up right into that 15-minute range as well, the 15-minute range here. Again, just getting rid of everything and just focusing on the simple trading style of this, right? Right there, 15-minute range, acting as resistance and pushing us down. I think now we'll probably take out this low, but 15-minute range. Don't overcomplicate it. Look at how that is now support right there, and this move is looking good to the downside there. So still moving. Could have probably held on a little longer, but hey, I'll take it. So there it is. The idea of just kind of showing you guys these live trades, what I'm thinking about, what I'm looking at, my stops, my entries, and how I play it right now. Very much just in this channel. There's a good chance that we kind of just keep bouncing around in this channel until something breaks, either to the upside or to the downside. And the best part about it is we don't really have to do anything at this point, because now we just sit back and be patient and wait to see kind of what happens. Patience, my friends. If you're not patient, you're going to get chopped up. You're going to get into bad trades, and you're going to be just kind of chasing the price action. That's the biggest thing, right? We talked about this idea on the live stream earlier of pushing back up when we were down here at the lows. So if you were too aggressive and you just didn't have any patience, you would end up jumping in here and you'd get stopped out. You'd be stopped out. And then the market moves back down. Well, then you jump in here again, and then you get stopped out. Because look, it's so funny, because this would have been people stop. It ran the stops. And then, you know, people are trying to buy the dip here. It runs the stops, brings it down to here. So the market's just playing these games, kind of doing these over-exaggerated moves, kind of pushing above these highs just to pull back and kind of stop people out. Kind of looking like a microphone right now. I guess you could say kind of a microphone setup there, but still just kind of chopping around. We had some news this morning. The market dumped there at open. The 15-minute range played out, and that's kind of what I'm looking at, the setup here, and showing you guys how I manage the trade and what I'm looking at and all that fun stuff. Just always applying, you know, everything that we're learning through this whole process, you know, not being greedy, taking profit, moving your stops down, having your stops, having a plan, locking in that profit. There is nothing more rewarding than locking in the profit and then seeing the market push back up or, you know, sell off or vice versa. So that's just part of the confidence that you got to build up in time. And you see these moves, you'll see how it's moving. Then you're like, hey, I'm going to take profit. Hey, I'm going to put my stop. And you're going to see these things happening. And that just takes time. It takes experience. But today, showing you guys kind of how I manage this trade. So the idea of this thing going higher ended up turning into the continuation of the bear flag there. And that's totally fine. Again, we don't care if the market goes up or if it goes down. We really don't. Like we don't care about that. We care about simple setups. Is there a setup? Is there a flag? Is the 15-minute range? Where's the VWAP? Where's the pivot points? Everything else, who cares? Who cares about it?